Okay, this is overall for the netting lab.
The first computer I give IP 10.10 and the interface F0/0 I give 10.1, and this one it will be 20.1, this one 20.2, and this one it will be 30.1, and this guy it will be 30.10, for example. Okay, and I will do routing first, because without routing nothing doesn't work. So I make sure this computer can see the server first, ping, reply, everything work fine. Then after that I do netting, or I do static first, then after that dynamic, then finally PAT or port address translation. So I go to the first router here and I put it the IP config T. Let me give him host R1, interface F0/0, IP address 10.1 255.255.255.0, then no shutdown, interface F0/1, IP address it will be 20.1, no shutdown. I go to the another router here, that guy it will be host R2, interface F0/1, IP address 192.168.20.2 255.255.255.0, no shutdown. Another interface is 0/0, IP address it will be 30.1, no shutdown as well. After, when I configure the IP address for each interface, I have to do what? I have to do routing. I have to do the routing first. So config T, IP route, default route I use. So my gateway it will be 192.168.20.2. This is the first routing IP route. Okay, this is the first command here in router 1. So I go to the another router here, config T, IP route 4040, and my gateway it will be 20.1 68.20.1. okay, so this is my route table here. Okay, so I will go to the computer, put the IP address here for each node. So let's say this one 192.168.10.10, and the gateway, don't forget as well, 192.168.10.1. so over there the server, I will say the IP address 192.168.10.30.10, for example. Okay, so now also the gateway should be 30.1. So I try to do ping first, ping 192.168.30.1 or 30.10, which is the server. Okay, so I have reply now, mean the computer can see the server, means routing done. Now I have to think about netting right now. Again, we cannot do netting if there is no IGP or routing done first. So we have to finish the routing first, then after that to think about netting. So I will do static first. Okay, before to do netting, you have to understand which area is outside and which area it's inside. Actually, I'm owner for this router here, and I'm scared from this area. So that's why I'm in green area, it will be trusted area, and this one is considered untrusted area. So I will go to this router and I will configure the netting to save this area. So I use a static. So I don't need anybody to see my IP. When this computer here 10.10, when need to go move outside, should be appear here as 100, 100, 100, 100. How can do that? So we use what? We use a static. So I go to the router 1 here. Before to go to the router 1 or before to do netting, you have to go to the interface F0/0 IPNAT inside, then go to the 0/1 IPNAT outside. Okay, so I went to this interface, to say IPNAT inside, and this interface IPNAT outside. Those commands inside, outside is very important for any type for netting. Static, dynamic, pad should be put it IPNAT inside, outside. Okay, after that what I do, exit, I will say IPNAT inside source. IPNAT inside source. IPNAT inside source commands, it's very important for the three type for netting: static, dynamic, pad. So you have to anyone you have to write IPNAT inside source. Then after that decide it, maybe static, maybe dynamic, maybe pad. Right now I need the static, so I just write the static. IPNAT inside source is static. Okay, so first IP should be your IP 192.168. You can see question mark here. You can see give me the inside local IP address. So I say, oh, okay, 192.168.10.10. This IP for who? This IP for computer, which is you need to save, which is considered like a web server, mail exchange, whatever. Okay, so I just put it there, computer local here. Okay, after that you have to put it the IP which you like to transfer outside, which IP you need to deliver outside. So that's mean, let's say I need, when anybody need this IP should be delivered like 100, 100, 100, 100. This is only the command for static. So I copy for you and I save here. Okay, so now I just say if anyone need 10.10 should be go to the 100, 100, 100. But how can to test? How can to check my configure is correct or no? Just by the way, the check for netting is very, very important. You have to know how can to check netting. Okay, we have a very interesting command they call debug IPNet. Debug IPNet. So debug IPNet, it will be work here. It will be capturing all the traffic go through the router. Okay, I will go to do ping, debug IPNet first, then I will go to do ping from here. Pay attention. Just I do ping from here, enter. So I can see the result here comes up here. Okay, let me study this result. I just say no debug all. They say you do ping to the 10.10 or the source for this ping or the source for ICMP traffic, it is 10.10. Deliver to 100, 100, 100 or convert or translate to 100, 100, 100. Okay, who to do that? Netting. This simple is considered netting job. Okay, change it to 100, 100. To reach to the destination 30.10. Good. Now 30.10 need to reply, right? So means 30.10 it will be source. You see, 30.10 it is source right now. He replied to the destination who 100, 100, 100 and netting again change 100, 100, 100 to the 192.168.10.10. But now the question, why a lot of packets? Because each two packets represent what? Represent one packet from here. How many packets I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Each one, there is two packets here represent the scenario. So that's mean I have here 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is they call how can to check netting or debug IPNet. Of course, if you make the traffic for ping more than 4, you can see a lot. We can see a lot of traffic. Again, source 10.10 when go to the outside immediately change to 100, 100, 100, and anybody from outside need to reply to me, it will be reply to 100, 100, 100, and netting it will be changed to correct IP, which is 192.168.10.10. This is the example for static root or overall for the static root. Of course, if the hacker here cannot see my IP, can see only 100, 100, 100. Now I will show you how can to configure dynamic. And in dynamic, remember, group to group. In a group, I need to change my topology a bit. I will put it more than one computer because a group, right? Group to group. So I just put it another computer here. Not server, computer. And I will put it here. One switch, then I do straight through. Then I will connect it here, straight through cable with the FAT 0/0. The new computer here, I just give him IP 192.168.10.11, this guy for example, and 192.168.10.1. Make sure this guy can reach to the destination ping to 192.168.10.30.10. Okay, but should be green. I just wait this one to make green. Okay, so now I just say enter. I have replied with a new computer here in same our network. Now I do group or dynamic. Dynamic mean group to group, a group inside, a group outside, or a group of private, group public if you're talking about internet. So I go to the switch here, router. I will delete the static config T. This one is static. How can to delete the static? You just put it no. Before to do anything, you have to make sure interface F0/0 IP NAT inside, interface F0/1 IP NAT outside. This is the first step to do nothing. Okay. After that, exit. Dynamic NAT is included two group inside, a group outside. So I create the group for inside first. How can to create the group for inside? Access list number 10 permit 192.168.10.0.000.255. This is the first thing if you need to do what? If you need to do the group for inside. So my network inside 192.168.10.0, yes? You can see here, this is my group inside. So the first thing you have to understand the access list, it will be help us to do the group for inside. Okay, how about the group for outside? How can to do the group for outside? IP NAT pool, IP NAT pool. Let's say CCNP. You give any name, variable name, you can put it any name. Okay, CCNP, CCIE, CCNA. Okay, then after that question mark, they say give me the started IP address, which the first IP address. I say 200.200.201 question mark. Give me the end IP address 200.200.200.200. Okay. And the question mark, give me the net mask, give me the subnet mask 255.255.255.0. This is they call what? The group for the outside. If you're talking about internet or public IP, this group should be from where? From the ISP, from internet service provider. But right now, because we need to do just the example for netting, so this group from us, you can use any group. Okay. So this is they call a group for outside. Right now I have two group. Group inside they call number 10 or list number 10, and the group outside they call what? CCNP. Right? We have two group name now. I will join the both or two group in one command. IP NAT inside source list number 10. How about outside? Pool CCNP. Enter. I say IP NAT inside source. How about inside? Please use list number 10. How about outside? Please use pool CCNP. So this is the command right now for the dynamic. I use list, which is represent my local area network or my inside network, and I use the pool, which is they call CCNP, is represent my outside or my public IP if we're talking about internet. Okay, can I check And before I check, I just need to show you the another or the continuous comments question mark. I have something they call overload. Overload is very, very important. Right now, I never put it overload. I show you what the benefit for overload. Okay, so our comment without overload, right? So I just enter. We will see the benefit for overload. Okay, how can to check? Debug IPNet. So I go to do ping, and I don't generation only one ping, I generation more than one, computer 1 and computer 2. So I make this guy ping, reply, then I go to another PC, also reply. Right? Let me study with you the result from the debug. First I say no, debug all. Okay. First of all, 10.11, he get IP 200, 200, 201. Good. 10.10, 10.10, he get another IP, right? 200, 200, 202, right? If I have 10.12, he get 200, 200, 203, and so on. But just wait. This is look like static. 1 to 1. Right? It's just 1 to 1. Make a group, but at the end is 1 to 1. The benefit right now from the word or from the keyword overload, it will be help me a lot. Can I see config T? I just go back to the same comment here. I just say no, or I just added overload. Overload at the end. Sorry, not no. Overload. Then I do ping again. Okay, let me do ping again and see the result. Of course, debug IPNet. Debug IPNet. Then I will start to do ping. Then I will go here to start to do ping as well. Let me study what the benefit for the overload. What the benefit for overload. 192.168.10.10 is get or use IP 200, 200, 202. And the IP 192.168.10.11 is also use the same IP 200, 200, 202. This one, the good for me right now, is really overload right now. Okay, right now, unless you know the benefit for keyword they call overload. This is they call dynamic, and this is the idea for dynamic group to group with the overload, or with the keyword overload. End of the comments for netting. Okay, now how can to configure PAT or port address translation? Port address translation or PAT, it is one to many or one to group. That means we use one IP from internet service provider, and we generation a lot of IP inside the private network. But before as well to start, you have to understand this IP is came from ISP. Most of the time is not specific IP. Most of the time is random IP and change it always. What I mean is came from DHCP server, which is mean automatically IP. And this is make really difficult for me to do the netting like static, because I don't know which IP for ISP. So that's mean we have to use PAT or port address translation. How can do that? Interface F0/0 IPNet inside, IPNet inside, interface F0/1 IPNet outside. This is very important. So I make this area is inside and this area is outside. Okay, so I say here exit. Now I need to do the PAT or port address translation. I have to make a group for my local area network. So I say, or I use access less number 10 as well, permit 192.168.10.0 wildcard 255. How about outside? Outside, I don't know, because the ISP is always give me random IP or from DHCP. So what I do, I say IP NAT inside source list number 10. This is from my local area network from inside. How about outside? I will say it depends about interface F0/1. Which interface? I am here, it depends about this interface. So why? Because the ISPs always give me random IP from this interface. So that means I say it depends about interface. What IP came from interface? What IP the interface is already processed? Do nothing for me. Okay? So at the end I have to write what? Overload. Overload is also important for us here. Okay? So this they call what? They call pathing or port address translation command. So how can to check? Of course we can do debug IP NAT, then we can see the result is on, and we can generation here some ping from here,
and you can see the result here is through 192.168.20.1, which is the interface considered facing to the internet. Thank you so much for your watching. See you later with another class.